Welcome back. Some breaking news coming in, an update from the Ukraine crisis. Russia had fired 2 missiles into Kyiv during a visit by the Union Secretary General. Antonio Guterres and the Ukrainian officials have said that this assault has taken place.
So this is coming at a time when the UN Secretary General, who is currently in Kyiv, and we have the result that is on part of the Russian strikes that continue, where the United Nations has expressed astonishment after the Russian missile strike hit close to the Secretary General as he visited Ukraine to help with the evacuation of tens and thousands of civilians who were caught in mortal danger. Ukrainian President Zelensky has also denounced the Russian attacks near the UN Secretary General, who has also met with Zelensky following talks with President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday. Let me go across to Srinjoy for a quick update on this, because Srinjoy, what is being said that the two leaders already had agreed in principle to the UN and the International Committee for Red Cross involvement in the evacuation process, but Russia continues to strike in the mainland, particularly in Kyiv.
Yes, the most important thing to note is that the war is still going on. You've had Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaking with both leaders. You've had senior leaders coming and meeting people or leaders in Russia and in the Ukraine. But the war continues, the invasion continues, the casualties mount every day. And yes, especially in the Donbas area, the Russians are marching for another huge attack. Now we have to see what happens. But the important thing is naturally the war has to come to an end. There has to be dialogue on the ground, and there has to be humanitarian aid for Ukraine. These are the three must-haves as far as India is concerned and much of the world is concerned, because unless the war stops, nothing really moves forward. So the fighting has to end, and that is what all world leaders are talking about. End the fighting immediately, then get together and talk. Now there have been discussions, there have been rounds of talks, but there's no point in having too many discussions when the war is still continuing. It's much more useful to have talks after the war is over.
That's right, Srinjoy, but international bodies have been appealing to Russia to cease the violence that they have been unleashing. But this is a fresh escalation we are seeing, because these 2 missiles were fired even as the UN Secretary General was there, right there in Kyiv.
Yes, missiles are being fired. The Secretary General was there when these 2 missiles hit Kyiv. But the point is, it's not just Kyiv. It's also attacks on other areas. The Donbas especially has been targeted by the Russians, also targeted are parts of the south. In the south areas, for instance, like Mariupol has been very badly targeted. Even other parts of the south have been targeted. So it's not just Kyiv. It is the Donbas area, it is the south. All of these areas have been targeted by Russians. And not just
so Russia's onslaught continues, even with the UN expressing astonishment over the attack that seems to be taking place. Of course, with the leaders, they're calling for a ceasefire for the safe evacuation of the civilians there from the most hit areas in Ukraine. For the moment, Srinjoy, thanks very much for joining in.